Is that it? I think that's about right. We're going to use that right there. What's good, everybody? Trump. Ghislaine Maxwell did not implicate Trump in the Epstein file interviews. Y'all ready? Because I am. Hope everybody had a fantastic evening last night. You know what I'm saying? Slept well because, woo, I did. I feel very refreshed right now. Got on the yellow so the sun can come out. Let me help the sun get out here this morning, you guys. What's going on? Who that right there? It's just me and you right now, Mark Dorfman in the building, but we're gonna drop a bizzle up in here, so don't even worry about it. Y'all know how we do. We're gonna get it turned up right now. It's your boy BOOGOTTINYC. This is our bottom line. Let's get it, y'all. Let's go. All right. We got Natalie coming in the building right now. Happy Friday. Good morning, Natalie. Always a pleasure to see you. It's always a pleasure to see you. Right? But now we're going to see what our buddy here has in store. Check this out. It's always 59 when it comes down to our buddy. Oh, you see, he turned out the light, so I couldn't tell on him, right? But without any further ado, I hope you guys had a fantastic evening. It's time to get it, y'all. Woosah. Happy Friday. Bling, bling, bling. I'm ready to go. Bling, bling, bling. Time to start the show. Bling, bling, bling. Everyone knows. Bling, bling, bling. We got it popping, yo. Bling, bling, bling. Y'all ready? One more time. And wake up those paws, cold fingertips. I tell you the truth, I'm already up, I'm already charged because I like the way you work it, no diggity, I got to bag it up, I like the way you work it, no diggity, I got to bag it up, I like the way you work it, no diggity, I got to bag it up. Y'all know why I'm open, right? Cause if pump that beat. It's Friday, August 8th. That's right, y'all. It's 2025. I'm your host, Bugatti NYC, and this here's our bottom line. Where we be talking about this and that, and that, and this, and this, and that, and that. Where we be talking about this and that, and that, and this, and this, and that just got me lit. Friday, y'all, Friday. Boom, 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 boom. I just got paid. Friday night. How many of y'all just got paid? Come on, give me hands up in the chat if y'all just got paid. Y'all ain't gonna tell me that though, right? Let's see who we got up in the building. We got Natalie up in the building this morning. We got Mark Dorfman in the building. We also have Casey Ramos. That's the dude right there. I'm on my bat phone, so no glove. Let's go. What else we got up in here? We got Anarchy Kid. We got Ivan up in here. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a fantastic morning, because guess what? I am. I'm so charged up right now. I slept real good. I had a good dinner last night, and guess what? I'm ready to go. Even though we on 3 hours, we're used to it after 300 and something episodes. You know what, you guys? I don't even care. Guess what we got for y'all today? We got this, we got that, and we got even more. We got follow-ups on Epstein, of course. We got a lot of follow-ups on that. We've got new breaking news on a lot of things that's going on all across the country, as far as Texas with the Democrats that have fled and what's going on with that. Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not even gonna play around right now. This is what I'm gonna do. Let's get into these titles. Let's get to work, y'all. Trump. Ghislaine Maxwell did not implicate Trump in the Epstein file interview. She's had 2 interviews so far, and they're saying that she did not implicate Trump. But you know what, you guys know what I'm thinking? The same thing that you're thinking. If there was 10 hours of audio, can we hear it, please? Let's keep on moving forward. What we got next in the next on the thumbnail? We have 4 teens that have been charged after a 14-year-old was stills nabbed to Dillsneth in a playground. Yes, a 14-year-old is no longer with us because he was taken out in a Bronx playground. We have the information on that. I can't say those words because we'll get that spinning ball. That's why I had to do the little jumble right there. You guys will get the full story in the clip if you stick around for the videos. Last but not least, what we have as well is the French president, Macron, was slapped in the face during a visit to a local village. You know what I'm thinking now? I don't think that many people have respect for him. Also, I don't think you should be approaching large crowds within slapping distance, President Macron. You know, you need to pay attention to what's going on around you, and people are probably taking a hint from when they saw your wife mush you when you were getting off your plane that time. We didn't forget about that. That was only a couple of months ago. So let's keep on getting into it, you guys. Without any further ado, I want to start getting right into these clips. You know what I want to do? Let me lock and load and get into this work. Also, let me know where you're chiming in from, what city, state, country. Also want to know what time it is, because I love to know what time it is when everyone watches the show. Gives me an idea of where you're at and in your country and what makes you want to watch our show at that time. We just love that. We love that right there. So without any further ado, let's get into our President Trump, who has some breaking news about the jobs report after Stephen Moore unveils the new data to make a case against the BLS jobs report that came out earlier this month. We're going to keep on going forward. Let's go.
With the Heritage Foundation, highly respected, one of the most highly respected economists and people that watch your money and know more about your money and your life than probably anybody I can think of. And I want to thank Steve for being here. I saw this today. They came out. What he puts out gets a lot of coverage, and I saw some of them, and then he had a couple of others. And I'd like to ask Steve maybe to discuss a few of these numbers that were just released. I mean, literally just released. And then we're going over and we're going to do Purple Heart. We have some incredible, brave people that I look forward to. So we're going to do that right after this. Steve, could you say a few words about the various charts?
Thank you, Mr. President. So I called the President because I had some very good news from some new data that we've been able to put together that no one has ever seen before, and I'll just very quickly go through these. So I was telling the President that he did the right thing in calling for a new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because this shows that over the last 2 years of the Biden administration, the BLS overestimated job creation by 1.5 million jobs. That's a, Mr. President, that's a gigantic error. And I don't know if she's, I'm not.
It might not have been an error, that's the bad part. If it was an error, it would be one thing. I don't think it's an error. I think they did it purposely.
Whether that, you may well be right, but even if it wasn't purposefully, it's incompetence.
Right.
Okay, so 1.5 million jobs overestimated. We have access to the some data that no one else does on what has happened month by month with median household income. This is based on unpublished Census Bureau data. It will be released sometime in the next 6 months, but we get an advanced look at it. And so I was telling the President in his first 5 months in office, starting in January through the end of June, the average median household income adjusted for inflation for the average family in America is already up $1,174. That's
an incredible number.
Yeah.
Just came out.
Just came out. So that's a giant thing.
And if I would have said this, nobody would have believed me. There's your number. We're doing well.
So the next one compares, we finally have the 2024 data on what happened with real family income in the United States. And so what I did was I compared the record in Donald Trump's first term with the Joe Biden first term. And you can see that, by the way, these dotted lines here, Mr. President, that's COVID. So if it had not been for COVID, these numbers would have been substantially better. But even taking account President Trump's last year in 2020, we saw a $6,400 real after inflation gain in income for the average family. And that compares with Joe Biden, which was a measly $551. So, Mr. President, you gain 10 times more income for the average family than Joe Biden is because of your policies.
And that's taken into consideration COVID,
yep.
Which A lot of times you don't have to do that, but
Because we were
I'm
up,
very glad you did.
we're up over
No, we were
almost 8,000 until.
Look at that number.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we looked at, which families did the
Come on
best.
in,
We
y'all.
have
Come on
data
in. Let's go. Come
from
on
the
in.
Census Bureau that shows by income percentage. So the 25th percentile is the lowest income, 75th percentile is the highest income. What I find fascinating about this, Mr. President, is every income group did better. The red is President Trump, the blue is President Biden. Every single income group did better under President Trump. But what's really amazing is look what happened under Biden. The lowest income group lost income under Biden. They were poor 4 years after Biden's presidency.
It felt
No
like it.
gain virtually
It felt
whatsoever
like it.
for the middle class. And the rich was the only group that did better under Biden, which is ironic because Biden keeps saying he was trying to get rid of income inequality. He made income inequality worse, not better. It was President Trump that reduced income inequality.
These numbers just came out, by the way.
And then finally, these are the numbers just I just showed you percentage terms.
All right, we're going to get bored with numbers. I know how my people are. I appreciate everything that you've done, President Trump, and trying to solidify and validate your track record. We get it, but we got to get on over here because AG Bondi put a $50 million reward for the arrest of the Venezuelan President Maduro. She's not playing right now, you guys. She said 50 million is on his head. I don't know about y'all, but I know some bounty hunters is licking their chops right now like, woo, we might need to go ahead and chop and holler at Maduro. $50 million is a lot of money.
And a video message posted on social media within the last hour by Attorney General Pam Bondi. This is the message she's seeking to convey here, saying today, the Justice Department and State Department are announcing a $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. Maduro, the disputed leader of Venezuela here. Let's listen to Bondi make this announcement here.
Razor sharp. Watch
Today,
this.
the Department of Justice and State Department are announcing a historic $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring deadly drugs and violence into our country. To date, the DEA has seized 30 tons of cocaine linked to Maduro and his associates, with nearly 7 tons linked to Maduro himself, which represents a primary source of income for the deadly cartels based in Venezuela and Mexico. Cocaine is often laced with fentanyl, resulting in the loss and destruction of countless American lives. The DOJ has seized over $700 million of Maduro-linked assets, including 2 private jets, 9 vehicles, and more. Yet Maduro's reign of terror continues. He is one of the largest narco traffickers in the world and a threat to our national security. Therefore, we've doubled his reward to $50 million. Under President Trump's leadership, Maduro will not escape justice, and he will be held accountable for his despicable crimes. If you have any information to bring this criminal to justice, call 1-202-307-4228 or go online.
Don't sound like she playing Maduro. And people going to be like, what was that number again? 50 million, what? You're going to be like, look, they're going to be at work like this. I don't never do it at work. I don't never do it at work. Trying to scheme on how they're going to go get that $50 million right there, huh? What y'all got over here? Let's go. Good morning, John. Good morning. Yes, release the Epstein file. Facts. That's right, KC. Facts. Let's keep on going, you guys, because they said that we got a little bit of political theater going on over here for these subpoenas for the U.S. behind the Epstein sweetheart deal. Check this out, you guys. We're going to get a little bit into this right here. We got to sprinkle it around. We're going to start moving around in different areas. Let's get into it. Let's go. Let's go.
As for several former government officials, including attorneys general, House Oversight Committee has issued subpoenas for several former government officials, including attorneys general, FBI directors, former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, to discuss matters related to Jeffrey Epstein. But as Joe detailed, the committee has not subpoenaed Alex Acosta, the former U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida.
Talked about him yesterday.
Behind the secret non-prosecution agreement that was reached with Epstein in 2008, Acosta also served as President Trump's labor secretary during his first term, but left the role in 2019 after he faced scrutiny over the Epstein plea agreement. Under that deal, Epstein pleaded guilty to procuring a person under 18 for prostitution and felony solicitation of prostitution, which required him to register as a sex offender and serve about a year in a Florida county jail. He was then able to leave the jail almost daily for work and was allowed to have his own private security detail behind bars. NBC News asked an oversight committee spokesperson why Acosta was not included in the subpoenas and was told via text message that members of the Federal Law Enforcement Subcommittee approved the list of those subpoenaed with a voice vote in July.
All right, we got to keep on going, y'all, because now we got a situation that's happening that we got to get right into. We can't play around. Let's go. Let's start stacking this deck. We got a situation right now where I bust it. That's right, y'all. Ice, ice, baby. They had a situation where they went to Home Depot and they had a little run-in with a couple of people at the Home Depot. You guys, I want you guys to see what happened at the Home Depot in Los Angeles. Anybody in Los Angeles, do your boy a favor. Let's step to the front of the stage. This happened on your turf. Let's go there, y'all. Let's get it done.
Fox News exclusively embedding with Customs and Border Protection for an immigration raid in Los Angeles. DHS is honing in on a particular neighborhood where...
How you gonna still be putting the paint in the back of the truck when homeboy getting locked? Come on now. They have no remorse, no regard for your helper. What's going on here?
Los Angeles. DHS is honing in on a particular neighborhood where it says an infamous gang was formed. Matt Finn is live from LA with more on this story. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Jackie. It was called Operation Trojan Horse, and DHS tells us it was the...
If you want to build an app and have no idea how to code or where to start, check out
It's the first time they use unmarked rental trucks during an immigration enforcement here in Los Angeles. DHS drove those trucks into a parking lot of a Home Depot near MacArthur Park. One of the Border Patrol drivers apparently did pose as someone looking for work, but then immigration agents came out of the trucks and dozens of people scattered. 16 people were taken into custody. We are working on confirming their information right now. Now, agents got in and out in a matter of minutes. DHS says they did surveillance of this area prior, and they used the rental trucks because they claim there's too many scouts in this area. Now, I talked with Border Patrol Chief Greg Bavino and asked for his response to critics who say enforcements like this are just targeting people looking for work.
Wow.
And when we look at the damage that unmitigated immigration has caused to this country, look at the Jacqueline Nungares and the Kate Steinleys and all those that have been hurt, maimed, and killed by illegal aliens. I think they need to redirect their attention and maybe think a little harder before they say things like that.
Now, last month, LA Mayor Karen Bass showed up in person to a federal immigration raid at MacArthur Park. Bass claims yesterday's Trojan Horse operation may have violated a recent temporary restraining order issued by a federal judge aimed at preventing alleged discrimination by the Trump administration during raids here.
So you say that there is evidence that they were asking, are people here looking for work? How is that consistent with them saying that they were looking for the gang members or that they were abiding by the TRO?
Oh, we got some new information coming up for you, Miss Bass, and you ain't gonna like it. All sanctuary cities, you guys will be, y'all about to be put on notice. But we got to keep on moving, you guys. Do your boy a favor and double tap that screen if y'all appreciate the content that you're getting at 6 o'clock in the morning. We got 4 teens that have been charged after a 14-year-old was stills nabbed to dills neff in the Bronx in a playground, you guys. Terrible, tragic situation, but guess what? Under Kathy Jokel Hochul and no police. Yeah, and a hot summer in the month of August being the #1 pow month that we know about. You guys got to know and be prepared for certain things. August is the #1 month for pow pow when it comes down to that. I guess because it's hot, it's summertime, it's bad situations going on. And it's a terrible, tragic event that happened with this 14-year-old that's no longer with us.
4 teenagers have just been charged with murder after a fight in a park in the Bronx that turned deadly. A 14-year-old boy was killed and a 17-year-old injured in Williamsbridge Oval Playground last night. Both teens were beaten and stabbed in a particularly brutal assault. Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis is live in the Norwood section with our lead story tonight. Marcus.
And Liz, here on the playground, a memorial continues to take shape. Is around this time yesterday that there was a volatile mix of 2 groups of young people, a 17-year-old stabbed, and then in apparent retaliation, that 14-year-old was killed. What can I tell you? We're distraught, says the victim's father. In the background, you can hear a mother's cries, grieving for her 14-year-old son, Angel Mendoza, who was beaten over the head with a skateboard last night, then stabbed to death. He was a quiet kid who didn't bother anyone, but the teen was confronted by an angry mob of over a dozen young people last night in Williamsbridge Oval Playground, the spot where he was sitting, now marked by candles.
Lo pararon, lo tiraron ahí, le entraron a apuñalar por ahí, por la espalda.
They stood him up and threw him down and started stabbing him, says this friend, who says she heard the victim tell the group he didn't know what they were talking about. Police say the attack appears to be retaliation for an earlier dispute. Mendoza came to the U.S. from the Dominican Republic at age 4, but his father says they recently butted heads over the crew the teen was hanging out with and the fact that he had stopped attending school. At that age, they think they're grown up and can take care of themselves, he says. I urge every parent to watch their kids. Mendoza was pronounced dead at Jacobi Hospital, while a second teenager was driven in a private vehicle to Montefiore Hospital. That 17-year-old was stabbed in the abdomen and shoulder.
These things shouldn't happen. We should be able to let our kids come outside without fearing for their lives.
Just a short time ago, the NYPD announcing 4 arrests in this case, 2 18-year-olds, a 16-year-old, and a 15-year-old, all 4 charged with murder, manslaughter, gang assault, and criminal possession of a weapon.
Terrible situation. A 14-year-old lost his life, but if you listen to what the dad said, it seemed as if he got away from him because he wanted to be outside, drill, all of that crap. Sad situation. And we're going to pray for the family as well as the friends in this tragic event, that the souls and they have some sort of resolve and comfort in this terrible time, guys. That's what we want to do first of all, and we want to say amen. Thank you. Can't just move on playing around and stuff like that before we give the grace to God and we ask for the respect. That's what we're going to do first. Now we got to get on over to Hillary Clinton, who probably can't make the 5th, she can't plead the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Why? Because the fact that her husband was the president. But let them tell you from the horse's mouth, you guys, we got some information. We got to get into this Russiagate. We're getting into a lot of congressional stuff that's going on. Let's get into it real quick.
A lot of headlines focusing on the fact that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton both being subpoenaed. I'll focus on former President Clinton. Now, only 2 presidents have ever been subpoenaed by Congress, Truman, Trump. Neither of them showed up. But that was related to acts while they were in office. Good point. Does Bill Clinton have the same immunity because his so-called alleged travel and conduct with Epstein was not when he was president?
He does not have immunity, Mark and Charlotte. The Supreme Court's immunity decision goes to official presidential behavior, core behavior, that which is articulated in the Constitution, and ancillary behavior, that which is necessary to support the core behavior. But all of it has to be official presidential behavior while president of the United States. The allegations about Bill Clinton are that he became friendly with Epstein and visited the island. I don't know if there's allegations beyond visiting there, but this is after he's president of the United States. He has no privilege to assert. He doesn't have presidential immunity. He doesn't have executive privilege.
Separation of powers, none of that.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't because he's not in the government anymore. If he has the 5th Amendment privilege, it would be unseemly for a president of the United States to invoke the Fifth Amendment, but he has that right.
So, yeah, that's my next question is what happens here with these 10 huge names? They've all been subpoenaed. Do they go testify? Do we hear from them at all?
Here's the way it works. They hire lawyers. Their lawyers talk to lawyers for the committee. It's okay, what is this about? What do you think I know? What do you want from me? How can we work this out? How can we limit it? Can we do it in private? All these things will be negotiated. I suggest to you that the lawyers for the Clintons are having that type of negotiation as soon as today to try and get people like us to stop talking about it. But at some point, there will be public testimony. Now, the first public testimony is former Attorney General Bill Barr in about 2 weeks, August 18. They will not have been able to go through the full file, no matter how many people they have, and even if they work 24/7 before August 18.
Even if they get the file. But one question, I mean, they've ordered all 250,000 pages and all the documents.
Right.
2 federal courts have said it is sealed. It is redacted. It cannot be released.
Okay.
We get a weird, basically cross powers here.
They have sealed just the grand jury testimony. They have not sealed the rest of the file. In fact, Judge Preska, who sits in a federal court here in Brooklyn, in a civil case, ordered the file released, and the DOJ, well, they released a portion of it, and it turned out to be nothing. So the grand jury testimony is kept secret. However, grand jury testimony is not what they're looking for. Grand jury testimony in this case consisted of FBI agents summarizing what witnesses had told them, which is sufficient for grand jury purposes. That's not what they want. They want the raw data. They want to know who the witnesses are. They want to know what the witnesses saw. They want to know who was there and what the FBI believes the people who were there did. The political pressure must be tremendous. One would think, if you don't mind this political analysis, the Democrats would be doing this to the White House and to the DOJ. No, it's the Republicans doing it because the MAGA base is putting tremendous pressure on Republicans in Congress to comply with their promises to get this stuff out there, whatever it is.
And Democrats did.
All right, let's go. Let's go. We got to keep on going, y'all. We got to stack this deck. Do your boy a favor, double tap that screen if y'all appreciate the content that y'all seeing right now. We turning up this morning on our bottom line. Y'all could do me a favor. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Send me all the money you got in your account. Yes, I'll buy some Starbucks today. So it's Friday, so don't act like y'all ain't got it. Come on now. Doom, 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 doom. Y'all know y'all just got paid Friday morning. Let's keep on going. Let's get to the French president right now, Macron. I guess people are looking at it like, look, if your wife can still slap you in the face, so can we. You know how those French people are. If I had some white gloves, I'd take them out and be like, I challenge you to a duel. You know how that's how they start beefs a lot. So a slap is real serious, especially to a man. Let me tell you something. I know a lot of fights and a lot of serious things that have happened just because of a little slap. Let's keep on moving, you guys, right now. Because President Macron, I don't know what he thought. He thought it was all sweet when he rolled up on this hood. This villager said, look here, this our set, homeboy. Don't be running up on us like that. I don't know who you and your people are, but you're going to get smacked coming over here.
Allez, venez là. Un petit coup. Oh là, oh là. Il y en a. Oh non, ils sont cons, quoi. Oh non, mais n'importe quoi.
N'importe quoi.
Ça c'est une honte, oui. Oh, mais ils sont marteaux. Venez là, non.
He mad. He tight. He like, yo, who is that? Yo, bring him on. He want to jump over the rail. He want to jump over the rail at this point. The boy said, no, you will not be disrespecting me. Jean-Claude will not be smacked. How dare you? I will smack you with the hand of... Come on, y'all, let's get over to Brooklyn where we got this boat that's docked, and guess what? It starts to sink, and luckily, 11 people were luckily able to get up off of this boat. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. Yeah, we got more of the Epstein coming. That was just some stuff to get you guys ready. Let's keep on going with the other
Wild
news.
scene in Brooklyn.
that fishing boat with passengers on board suddenly starting to sink at a pier.
And video shows emergency crews using a makeshift bridge to rescue 11 people from the boat as it slowly took on water.
Yeah, you see the boat tilted there. The sinking and speedy response happened last night in Sheepshead Bay. And that's where we find Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tay, who's been there live all morning long. Phil, have you spoken to any eyewitnesses? Yeah, Pedro, good morning. In a moment, you'll hear from a man who says that he was here at the dock last night as an evening on the water for 11 people, unfortunately, was cut short. It turned into moments of panic, and as he just tried to steer them in the right direction. Take a live look right now at that boat that is lodged on its side, and it is a reminder as to what happened here last night.
Oh my God, they down in there.
It wasn't smooth sailing for nearly a dozen on board this fishing boat last night. This dramatic citizen video capturing the rescue after water seeped in, causing the vessel to sink.
When the boat came in, it was taking on a lot of water. Everybody got off the boat safe, and then it went down right here.
Joe Haggerty tells me he was at the dock in all of the chaos around 9:30 last night, helping to get those passengers to safety along with emergency crews. Their paddle, this ladder, leaving 11 people crawling from harm's way.
We pulled the boat in the dock, got everybody off. By that time, there was too much water.
Did they realize something was wrong while they were coming
Yeah, back?
that's
why they came back. You know, usually they come back in at 12. They got back in at 9 last night.
So what time did they leave?
They leave at 7.
The pier in Sheepshead Bay is home to several boats offering aquatic experiences, and for a company that delivers the bait each week, this morning was like no other.
That's crazy, man. I mean, we pull up like this, I couldn't even read what boat it was. I thought it was a movie at first. You pull up, you see a boat sunk. There's a million different things that run into your head. But we were trying to deliver bait to him, and when I saw the letters, I just couldn't believe it.
This morning, the fishing boat is getting quite the attention. Still lodged on its side, partially submerged, as life vests float in the water. For some walking by, they're puzzled with questions.
I feel terrible. I mean, the guy's such a nice guy who owns it. It's horrible. It's really a tragic thing.
All right, 11 people got up off the boat. Everybody's safe. All right, you guys on the outside about your feelings. I got you. Feelings. Whoa, 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 feelings. Everybody feels so sad. And I feel sad for those 2 people that we had to get up out of here. Talking about I ain't got no job. Homeboy, I work harder than Tremont. And then the other, I'm not even going to put you guys on good blast. But guess what? They're gone. Talking about a boy ain't got no money for no mod, so he gonna spam. Oh yeah? Bang! Out of there. Think I wasn't reading that stuff? Yo, they don't know me very well. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys, because the DOJ states are going after some of the 400,000 grants in tuition for illegal immigrants. Let's get on into it. These guys don't know I'm razor sharp over here, and every time I put these videos up, all I'm doing is in the comments looking for y'all like dun 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 dun. Who's playing at 6 o'clock in the morning? If you playing at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting you out of here. Plus, the real crew, we ignore you. So that's why nobody was paying attention to you. Let's keep on moving, you guys. Also, y'all, let me know how my audio is right now.
Also, this Republican state leaders are taking aim at tuition breaks for illegal immigrants. Right now, 23 states plus D.C. offer in-state rates to undocumented students. The Trump administration says it's these kinds of taxpayer-funded benefits that are encouraging illegal border crossings. Fox Business's Lydia, who is live here in Washington with all the details. Hey, Lydia.
Hey, good morning to you, Jillian. An estimated 400,000 students enrolled in higher education do not have legal status. That's about 2% of the entire post-secondary student body population. But as you say, now some nearly 24 states that offer in-state tuition to illegal migrants are reversing that policy because the DOJ now is taking action. Texas, which is not highlighted here, it was the first state to adopt in-state tuition for illegal migrants back in 2001. But now the Lone Star State is also the first to rescind that policy just hours after being sued by the DOJ. Attorney General Pam Bondi saying in a statement, quote, "Other states should take note that we will continue filing affirmative litigation to remedy unconstitutional state laws that discriminate against American citizens." And the DOJ is doing just that. They're suing Minnesota and Kentucky on the grounds that offering in-state tuition benefits to illegal migrants is unconstitutional. And the Republican Attorney General of Kentucky has now publicly sided with the Department of Justice, urging the Democrat governor, Andy Beshear of Kentucky, to change the policy, suggesting the state will lose in court if they choose to fight. But critics say that ending in-state tuition for illegal migrants will make college unaffordable and out of reach for tens of thousands of people. But the DOJ says the policy treats Americans as second-class citizens and follows the Trump executive orders aimed at ensuring illegal migrants are not getting taxpayer benefits.
Hey, those American students should be getting that. How about use some of those dollars to wipe out some of the American students' tax debt? How about that? $400 million. Give it to the American students that are getting like A's and get commendations and stuff like that. Shift that money right over. You know, you guys did great. We're gonna wipe out your student loan, your student debt with that money. I can find ways to use it. Let's keep on moving forward now, because we got another DOJ situation where they list New Orleans as a sanctuary jurisdiction. This means that the state interferes with the policies of the entire government. That's what the government is doing now. They're going directly at sanctuary states for all of the policies that they follow. And then we're going to start going after what, you guys? Money, 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 money. They find a way to use the law to hold back that money. And now guess what they got to do? Comply. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. I myself am somewhat for sanctuary states, but not for what some of the criminals find strategic ways to use them in.
This morning, New Orleans is on a list just released by the Justice Department showing what the Justice Department refers to as sanctuary jurisdictions. Now, the Justice Department says it has identified states, cities, and counties that have policies, laws, and regulations the Justice Department says interfere with the enforcement of federal immigration laws. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the jurisdiction listed could face legal consequences as a result. Now, Louisiana does have a law prohibiting sanctuary cities, but there is a federal consent decree in place that mandates how and when the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office can comply with ICE. Deputies cannot investigate immigration violations or detain immigrants for ICE unless they have a court order to do so or the person has been charged with a federal crime. New Orleans is the only city, it turns out, in Louisiana on the DOJ's list.
You see how they try to use the kids' pictures and stuff like that and make you guys feel bad and everything? I look at it totally different. I look at it like that's more responsibility for the United States to have to handle. And then a lot of those parents utilize the children in order to come here. Oh, we wear on the hearts, look at my child. Yeah, but guess what? We got American children that need some help too. We need to be first. I don't care what y'all got to say about it. We're going to keep on moving forward. Breaking news. We got the border czar, your Uncle Tom, who says the cities are on notice. So not only are they on notice, but now that other people who were worried about that, like Abuela or like Papa, the sad part about it is now they're looking for those people too. So if you flew up under the radar and for decades and now you've been sought after yet again due to the lack of cooperation when it comes down to what they originally needed. The cooperation to get the illegal criminals out. Now, since people didn't comply, they're coming for everybody, and they're just being straight up about it. So it's just a little pre-warning right here. When they come in the door, kicking the door down for some certain people that they have paperwork for, if you've already been ordered deported, they're going to take you too.
Job, great to see you today. First of all, how does it help to call out these sanctuary policy cities?
Because we're putting them on notice. Look, I've been dealing with this for 40 years, Harris, you know, and it's gotten worse and worse. So promises made, promises kept. President Trump promised he'd take the sanctuary cities on, and that's exactly what we're doing. You know, I thank God Pam Bondi stepping on this right away. We're putting them on notice. Either you help us enforce the law, and I'm not even saying be an immigration officer. I'm saying notify us on our detainees when a public safety threat, illegal aliens in your jail, work with us. Give us access to the jail. Let us arrest the public safety threat and the safety and security of a jail, which is safer for everybody, safer for the community, safer for the agent, safer for the alien, rather than release them back on the street to reoffend. Then we got to send a whole team in the street to find this person. So we're putting them on notice, and we've already filed lawsuits against several sanctuary cities, and we're going to continue doing that, holding them responsible, because they are one of the main reasons we see the attacks on American citizens You know, look at the cases of young ladies that were raped and murdered by members of the TDA. Look at the cases where many of these people were apprehended once before and released from a sanctuary city. So we do everything we can to protect Americans.
Look, DHS has announced that we will see a new version of alligator Alcatraz. It's going to pop up in Indiana. It's dubbed the Speedway Slammer and will be located 65 miles north of Indianapolis at the Miami County Correctional Facility there. Detention space will be expanded to hold about 1,000 beds to house most violent illegal criminals. And this is just before they get deported. So that's where they'll be. Alligator Alcatraz opened this summer in Florida, to remind everybody. And it can now hold 2,000 detainees and is expected to hold up to 4,000 in the future. Deportation flights of illegals there started at the end of last month. You know, it's hard to believe that they're going to be held here for any period of time. Why can't we just kick these people out? Like, they're here illegally and they're committing further crimes.
Well, that's our intent, right? So I appreciate the other 1,000-bed facility. Mm-hmm. I would like to see larger facilities where we hold 4,000 or 5,000 people, and that creates another efficiency. Have them one place, have an airline right there, a landing strip right there at the facility. That creates efficiencies, removes them quicker. We can move people in and out quicker. So I'd like to see the bigger facilities, but every 1,000-bed facility we bring on helps. We need 100,000 beds. That's what we asked for in the big, beautiful bill. That's what we got. 100,000 beds means we move people in and out more quickly. So I hope and pray we get to 100,000 beds as quick as possible. And I agree with you. Look, the whole process is arrest them quickly, remove them quickly. And that's why we're arresting the significant public safety threats and national security threats. And many of them have final orders already. They've had due process at great taxpayer expense. And that's why we're also looking for 1.4 million illegal aliens who already had due process and have an order removal on standby. See? These are also easily removable aliens. That's why we added them to the priorities.
See? Wow. And so somebody.
So now those are those people that were flying under the radar, that were doing their jobs, doing those small little jobs and staying out of trouble and trying to take care of their families and letting those other people come in and stay in their house. So when they come kicking that door in, don't get mad now, because they already warned you. We're going to keep on moving forward because Trump is targeting Obama's attention. You know, he's got Obama's attention when it comes down to this Texas battle as it ramps up. Obama definitely is in the news a lot this week for various situations, whether it's Russiagate. Now it has to do with the Lone Star State.
Now, Texas Republicans are taking on the lawlessness. Breaking news now, Texas Republicans are taking on the lawlessness of Texas Democrats on the run. The GOP is ready to vote on redrawing the state's congressional map. Governor Abbott is now suing those Democrats who fled the state to try to block the vote. He says they abandoned their office and the people who voted for them. And developing now the Democrat plan to stay out of Texas until Republicans kill the plan to redistrict. So are they moving out forever? I'm Harris Faulkner. This is the Faulkner Focus. Now a look at the list of those Democrats who were no-shows for Tuesday's House session. It's long, 54 names, including the caucus chair, Jean Wu. Governor Abbott filed an emergency petition yesterday to remove Wu from his position. He calls him the ringleader of the derelict Democrats. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton was with me, as you know, yesterday, and he has an ultimatum. Starting this Friday, any rogue lawmakers refusing to return to the House will be held accountable for vacating their office. If you don't show up to work, you get fired.
Ooh, what y'all think about that? I mean, they just basically shirk their responsibility looking at it like this. We're going to leave the game with our ball and you guys can't play. What do you guys think about that? Guess what? Spalding is a company and they got a whole bunch of balls. How about y'all go ahead and do what y'all got to do, and now we're going to just take care of y'all accordingly. We got to keep on moving forward because there's so much more. Because now we got more situations where Trump is considering interceding in the New York City mayoral race. And he's already spoken to Cuomo. And thank you for all the love over there. I appreciate it so much, you guys. I appreciate it so much. We got so much to get into. It's Friday, y'all. How y'all feeling? Let me get a smile for no reason just because we woke up this morning. Come on, let's do that. Let's go.
And a brand new report in the New York Times claiming President Trump
is debating whether to intercede in this race in order to block Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani.
The mayoral frontrunner reacting to that news just a short time ago. Fox 5's Morgan Mackay is live in Far Rockaway, Queens with what Mamdani had to say. Morgan.
Hey, Bianca, Natasha. So we were here in Far Rockaway with the Democratic nominee Zoran Mamdani shortly after news broke that President Donald Trump is reportedly considering whether to intercede in the mayor's race. Now, according to the New York Times, President Trump even called former Governor Andrew Cuomo in recent weeks to discuss the race. Now, at least publicly, Trump and Cuomo have had a somewhat tumultuous relationship, especially during the COVID pandemic when the two regularly threw jabs at each other in press conferences. The Justice Department has also reportedly opened a probe into whether Cuomo lied to Congress about his handling of nursing home COVID deaths. But now that Mamdani has won the Democratic primary, there is some concern among business leaders and others in Trump's circle about how Mamdani's policies, like raising taxes on billionaires and freezing the rent on rent-stabilized apartments, will impact the city's economy. Some Republicans are now seeing Mamdani's possible win as an opportunity, potentially giving Republicans a better chance at the governor's race or even midterms next year. But Trump, who is a New Yorker and still owns property in the city, has reportedly voiced concern as well. Curtis Lee was a Republican candidate in the race, but is not closely aligned with Trump. According to the New York Times, the president cast doubt on Sliwa's chances in the general election, but said he personally liked Adams and added that he had always gotten along with Cuomo. Mamdani responding to the news today.
Whatever Donald Trump seeks to do to influence the outcome of this election, I have more faith in New Yorkers themselves. What they want is someone who can stand up to an authoritarian administration and to the billionaires that gave us that administration.
I'm telling you right now, I'm predicting it right now. That's going to be the next mayor. I call it already the George Costanza effect. Because why? Because right in this scenario, this is Seinfeld. I'm George Costanza. Don't want him to be the mayor because I know what comes along with that. But you know what happens when Costanza don't want something to happen, right? It exactly happens the way that he doesn't want to happen. So yeah, I'm expecting the Costanza effect. And I think that we're going to get this Zoran Mamdani, and we're going to be in some serious trouble when we get this guy. We got to get on over to Trump. If he was asked if he missed Elon.
I think we're going to have growth that's unbelievable. Now, remember, we're building and just starting to build a lot of these incredible plants. We talked about the electric facilities that we're building, the generating plants, electric generating plants are massive, and they're going to be great. And they're going to sell excess electricity into our grid. So we're going to be having much more electricity than we ever had. And those plants are going to be taken care of individually. I know Tim is building one in one of his big factories, but especially for AI because it needs so much electricity. So
what time is it?
I appreciate the question very much. And I think the growth is going to be unprecedented.
Do you have a phone call with Andrew Cuomo?
New York City
Did you speak
mayoral
to Andrew
run,
Cuomo?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Mr. President, have you been briefed on what Ghislaine Maxwell told Todd Blanche?
No, I haven't. Have
You
not.
don't know whether
I
it
don't
came
know.
up in the
I know Todd
conversation
is a
or not?
very respected person all over the country, all over the world legally. So I don't know. Yeah, please go ahead.
Will the new governor be temporary?
We're probably going to go with a temp and then a permanent, I think. So the temp is going to be named, I'd say, over the next 2-3 days. And then
All right, let's get into it, you guys. It's time. It's time. I made you guys wait long enough. I stacked the deck. You guys know what's going on with all the news, all the feelings. Let's get into it. Let's get some information out there. Thank you so much, Mad Hatter 999. Curtis Sliwa need to get in office to save New York City. Get word out. Y'all need to go ahead and hit him in his email. Do me a favor, everybody here, if y'all want to do it, do me a favor and go over to Curtis Sliwa's email and over at his Instagram page. Curtis Sliwa, I would like to interview him to bring him on the show. You guys have the power to do that. We got like 700 people in here. If 600 or 500 or 300 people email him at one time, like, hey, this guy over at Our Bottom Line, he wants you to, yeah, y'all got the power for that. Y'all just don't know it. Like if everybody give me $1 right now, I have $700. How about that? Okay, anyway, let's keep on moving forward right now because we got the family of Virginia Giuffre who spoke about Ghislaine Maxwell. We're getting into it right now. We're stacking this deck. The family does not want, the family of Virginia Giuffre, one of the last surviving victims, says that they do not want this woman to get out. They do not want this lady to get out of prison because they feel like she's done too much. Should we do that, or should we break down? Now, you know what? This is what we're going to do. I'm going to the disturbing side of Epstein no one is talking about. We're going to go to the island. We got somebody right here who basically ran the fiber optics. He did everything as far as like all of the contracting, and he saw a lot. Like when Jeffrey Epstein walked out of the room and the computer was open, he saw pictures. Let him tell it. Let's get into this. Let's start stacking this deck on this.
Director left shortly thereafter in 2006, but is in large part responsible for much of the interior imagery we have of the home. And another interesting turn is that in his story, this contractor lets us know that after he let Epstein know he was leaving, gave him his 2 weeks notice, Epstein tried to get him to come to his island. And the contractor said that he doesn't think he would have ever made it back alive had he gone. What's worth noting is that this contractor is one of two who had been interviewed on a local radio show run by Eddie Aragon, a businessman and prospective politician in New Mexico. And both of these contractors agreed that there were things they had never seen in and about that home. Stairways they were forbidden to go down, and doors that were sealed shut. The other contractor Eddie interviewed on his radio show, though, admitted to seeing an enormous underground strip club, which he knew little girls were forced to perform in. He unfortunately did not get a picture. We do have one picture, though, that I believe shows a staircase that was off limits, and makes me question what else this home was hiding. And we get a snippet of that darkness in an image captured by the first contractor. He discusses how throughout his work in the home, he noticed that there were pictures of Ghislaine Maxwell completely nude spread throughout the home. And on screen now is one of them. She is totally naked, sitting on a chair, slowly pulling a blade out of a sheath. According to one interview, he didn't get a picture of it, but another one of these paintings was similar, but Ghislaine Maxwell was full spread for the painter. And there are a few things more horrifying that I can imagine than seeing this painting, except being the one who had to paint it. And it is worth noting that several of the girls taken to Epstein's various properties, including Zorro specifically, were talented artists. Just mold that one around in your head for a second. The contractor's stories do give much credence to the horrors that took place at Zorro, yet they also leave us desiring to know more. For instance, considering the entire compound was riddled with cameras and everything was monitored 24/7, where did all the content go? According to the contractors, there were multiple rooms completely filled with computer hardware, and this was also confirmed by some of the victims at Zorro Ranch who had seen them. So I decided to try and find any of the original blueprints for the ranch to confirm if there was some semblance of truth to this claim, and lo and behold, the prints are online. It's pretty blurry and more easily seen in this video that I've linked below, but there are sections quartered off for mechanical and computer rooms in the locations where contractors and victims claim them to be. So with that verified, another very curious question arises. The computer rooms were only a small section of what the victims claimed were underground. In addition to that, victims and employees claim there is something much, much more. In fact, Maria Farmer testified that Epstein told her that there was not only computer rooms down there for monitoring the animals, guests staying there, but there were also tunnels and essentially an entire complex of rooms beneath the house that no one knew about. And this is a much harder claim to verify, but I do think it's worth investigating, because when research...
So he had contractors doing all sorts of tunneling from different parts of the island to another area. He had different strip clubs and stuff inside of basements. This guy had all sorts of stuff going on. And then he was making his contractors scared by saying, hey, you want to come to my island? That one person said, if I would have went to his island, I wouldn't have came back. Look, currently, sir, I would like to leave this island. We're going to keep on moving forward, you guys. I got to stack this deck. We got a huge problem because the lawyer that was shocked that says the White House meeting with Epstein is something that is unprecedented, that never basically happened before. Check this out, you guys.
More breaking news. A meeting last night of several high-level Trump administration officials that had been supposed to be held at the vice president's residence. It was moved to the White House after extensive news coverage. Vice President J.D. Vance was joined at the meeting by the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, FBI Director Kash Patel, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Assistant Attorney General Todd Blanche. Blanche, who formerly was Donald Trump's personal attorney, met with Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell last month, and the White House is actively considering releasing an audio recording or transcripts of the interviews. CNN legal analyst Elliot Williams joins the panel now. Elliot, welcome back. I'm trying to figure out what percentage of the segments we have done together in the last several weeks have been on this exact topic.
This and Taylor Swift, I think those are the two.
But when the White House is weighing this, right? I mean, first of all, we know there's a lot of division among this group of people, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel. It doesn't sound like Dan Bongino, or at least he's not on the list that we just read through, but there's definitely been tension there.
Yeah.
Are there any legal problems or challenges with releasing a transcript like the one of Blanche and Ghislaine Maxwell? Like, I mean, how are you even thinking about this?
Just the transcript could be released. The legal challenge would be in the form of if grand jury materials were to be released, because the law requires that they be kept secret. Now, if they are thinking about charging anybody with a crime, the last thing on earth they want to be doing is releasing any transcripts publicly, because that'll out their investigative tactics and techniques. It'll out who their personnel are. It'll out people that they're investigating, and maybe even victims as well. So that's one big step. But to step back, the idea of this meeting happening at all, we really should name and identify as a huge, huge, huge problem. The FBI director runs a law enforcement agency. He's not a cabinet official. Yes, he was politically appointed, and I understand that's how it works. But there's a long tradition of separation between our law enforcement entities and our Justice Department and the political leadership in the White House. It goes back to Republican and Democratic administrations. So the FBI director, the Deputy Attorney General, and the Attorney General really have no business doing PR damage control with the White House on what really is a political matter for them.
Kind of like what happened with William Barr last term with president. I understand what they're saying. It's kind of like interference. They can, appoint you for the position, but, you constantly being there kind of like their personal lawyer. That's something that basically people, they don't go for. Check this out, you guys. I want you guys to see this right here. This is a special that I found. I want you guys to check this out.
The Jeffrey Epstein scandal. The mega millionaire accused of sex trafficking will appear today in a New York courtroom where a federal judge will let him know if he can leave jail on bail while he...
This is when Jeffrey Epstein was still alive. He was fighting his case. I want to get this audio up to make sure that you guys can hear it. Do me a favor. Bear with me for a second. This is totally different. This is on an ABC News clip that I had to grab this from.
On the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, the mega millionaire accused of sex trafficking will appear today in a New York courtroom where a federal judge will let him know if he can leave jail on bail while he fights the charges. Tommy Amos here with us, and you just visited his private island?
That's right, George, and good morning to you. We just got back. We spent the last 2 days in St. Thomas getting an up-close look at one of Epstein's private islands, Little St. James. We learned at one point, according to a former employee, Epstein wanted to change the name to Little St. Jeff's. That former employee says he had to stop working there because of all the strange things he was witnessing, from seeing photos of topless women in nearly every room to seeing topless women walking around. The one common theme, they all looked very young.
As Jeffrey Epstein sits in jail waiting to learn if a judge will grant him bail today, a former employee tells ABC News he must be going crazy being locked up.
Just over my shoulder is one of Jeffrey Epstein's private islands.
I spoke to the contract worker who spent 6 years beginning in 1999 installing telecommunications on the Caribbean compound. He says Epstein was very controlling and particular about the way he lived.
Can we talk to you?
We tried speaking to employees on the island, which is still operating, but they did not want to talk to us.
A former employee says what he saw inside was disturbing. Photo after photo of young-looking girls without their tops on.
Prosecutors have pointed to Epstein's lifestyle and wealth to argue he's an extreme flight risk. And they dropped a bombshell earlier this week when they said during a raid of his Manhattan mansion, they found inside of a locked safe piles of cash, dozens of diamonds, and an expired foreign passport with Epstein's picture, but a different name and a stated residence in Saudi Arabia.
We think he's a significant flight risk, and that is why we are seeking detention pending trial.
Epstein has pleaded not guilty to the sex trafficking of minors, and his legal team has argued he's willing to put up his mansion and private jet as collateral for bond, even willing to live with armed guards, security cameras, and a GPS bracelet inside of his New York home. Prosecutors have said Epstein is not allowed to build his own jail inside of his Manhattan mansion, saying it would be a gilded cage. And President Trump, a one-time associate, has tried to distance himself from Jeffrey Epstein.
I wasn't a big fan of Jeffrey Epstein, that I can tell you.
NBC released a video from 1992 from one of their talk shows showing Epstein and Trump laughing and enjoying themselves. The president has said he had a falling out with Epstein 15 years ago, and the Trump Organization says Epstein was banned from Mar-a-Lago.
Now, President Trump has not commented about that video. A judge will decide later this morning if Epstein gets bail. Guys?
What a story. Okay, Tom, thanks very much. Now, the Jeffrey Epstein.
The reason I wanted to bring that up because that was during the time when it actually happened. That was July the 18th, 2019. Of course, Jeffrey Epstein is no longer with us, but due to the fact that there was so much detailed information there, I wanted us to all share that information and get it out. So now we got to keep on moving to finally the family of Virginia Giuffre, who spoke out about Maxwell.
But we start with learning more details about Ghislaine Maxwell's interview with the Department of Justice. CBS News has confirmed that Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator did not say anything in the interview that would implicate President Trump. It comes as the family of Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre is speaking to CBS News.
None of this feels normal and none of it feels above board.
The family of the late Virginia Giuffre, who became one of the most vocal Jeffrey Epstein accusers, is questioning the treatment of co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, serving a prison sentence for sex trafficking.
She wasn't a victim like the narrative is trying to change right now. She was an active participant in the abuse.
Why are we listening to a known perjurer? I mean, I think if anybody needs to be heard, it's the survivors.
Maxwell, who is appealing her case and seeking clemency, is also arguing against the Justice Department's request to unseal grand jury testimony in the case. In Maxwell's roughly 9-hour interview last month with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, a source tells CBS News that she did not say anything that would harm or implicate President Trump.
I didn't talk to him about it.
President Trump told reporters he doesn't know what was discussed, but indicated he has complete confidence in the Deputy Attorney General, who previously served as his personal attorney.
It's not an uncommon thing to do that. And I think he probably wants to make sure that, people that should not be involved or aren't involved are not hurt by something that would be very, very unfortunate, very unfair to a lot of people.
On Capitol Hill, the House Oversight Committee issued subpoenas for former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. In 2019, Clinton's office said that while he knew nothing about the terrible crimes Epstein committed, he took 4 trips on an Epstein plane in 2002 and 2003.
Wow.
The House committee also wants to hear from former attorneys general and DOJ officials who oversaw federal investigations of Epstein. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Y'all getting what y'all want. Let me tell you something. Every time I turn around, it's Epstein files, Epstein files, Epstein files. No matter what show I put on, all y'all want to hear about is the Epstein files, and I get it. But guess what you also did? Y'all pressed so hard that they have to get this out. Republicans, Democrats, independents, everybody's like, look, you promised it, you might as well give it to us. And it's coming. I know we're going to get it. But what we doing over here, you guys, is we stacking that deck and we getting as much information on our heads before it comes out so we can have a smorgasbord of understanding when we do get those files. Now we got to get on over to the White House because they finally think that they got this crisis of the Epstein files managed. They think they got it managed right now. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the White House has this situation managed already? I don't. I see it everywhere. So let's keep on going. I think they don't have it. They don't have this managed.
Convicted child sex abuser Ghislaine Maxwell is not the victim here. The real victims, the survivors, are people like Jane. Now, we don't know Jane's full name, but we know that Jane was 14 years old when she met Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell at a youth camp in Michigan. Here's what the story said, quote, Epstein first abused Jane when she was 14. Jane said that there were sexual encounters with Epstein for the next 3 years, around every 2 weeks. Sometimes Maxwell was in the room during this sexual abuse. There were occasions when Maxwell touched Jane's breasts. Jane is a real survivor. So is Carolyn, who testified that she went to Epstein's home over 100 times from age 14 to 18, where she was told to massage Jeffrey Epstein. Carolyn said that at the age of 14, before one of the massages, Maxwell came in and felt my boobs and my hips and my buttocks and said that I had a great body for Mr. Epstein and his friends.
Wow.
And then there's Maria Farmer. Unlike some of Epstein's other victims, Maria Farmer was 25 years old when she says Epstein assaulted her, though her younger sister, who also says she was abused by Epstein, was a minor. Maria Farmer was an employee of Jeffrey Epstein's at the time. She says that in 1996, she was at the estate of Victoria's Secret CEO Leslie Wexner with Epstein and Maxwell. She says that Epstein and Maxwell violently groped her until she fled the room and barricaded herself in another part of the building.
Wow.
And during her time in Epstein's orbit, Maria Farmer says she also encountered Donald Trump. She told the New York Times that in 1995, quote, Late one night, Mr. Epstein unexpectedly called her to his offices in a luxury building in Manhattan. She arrived in running shorts. Mr. Trump then arrived wearing a business suit and started to hover over her. Ms. Farmer said she recalled feeling scared as Mr. Trump stared at her bare legs. Then Mr. Epstein entered the room and she recalled him saying to Mr. Trump, "No, she's not here for you." The two men left the room and Ms. Farmer said she could hear Mr. Trump commenting that he thought Ms. Farmer was 16 years old. Joining me now is Maria Farmer, along with her attorney, Jennifer Freeman. And before we get started, I just want to say to you, Maria, I think it is...
All right, I got more to get into, you guys. I know y'all probably want to see that. It is 1 hour long. The name of this clip is called Speaking Out. Watch Epstein victims and accusers speak out to MSN. You know, we only take 2 minutes. We took 2:15 off of that. Speaking Out. Watch Epstein victims and accusers speak out on MSNBC. It's also inside of the link inside of the description. You guys can see the whole video. But we got to keep on moving because Jeffrey Epstein's accuser, this other accuser, and the lawyer, Gloria, demand the Epstein files be released. I got another person over here. Don't think that I'm running away from it. We got Gloria over here that's going to talk and let you guys know some first-hand accounts of what's going on. I myself personally, I'd rather speak directly to people who actually been dealing with the situation firsthand. And when I say that, I mean people that have actually dealt with the terrible person. What's his name? Jeffrey Epstein. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. Oh man, let's go. What we got right here? I'm sorry about that. Oh yeah. Where we at? Okay, here we go. Let's go. I'm sorry about that, guys.
And I believe, yes, the files should be released. I'm tired of the government saying that they want to the first question that I have is, should the files be released? And I believe, yes, the files should be released. I'm tired of the government saying that they want to release them. So please just do it. And the next question is, should Miss Maxwell be pardoned? No, Ghislaine Maxwell should not be pardoned. She was convicted of sex trafficking of children. This is a terrible crime. Our next question is, did you ever meet Virginia Giuffre? Yes, briefly. Before Miss Maxwell was arrested, there was a meeting in New York with law enforcement, with either the FBI or Homeland Security, and with many other victims. And Virginia and I were there. And I said, "Hi, Virginia. Did you file a police report?" I did, in California. Virginia said, "No, I could not do that. I could not do that. I was around rich and powerful people." And at the same meeting with victims and their attorneys, the law enforcement agent at the podium asked the victims if they had any questions. Virginia asked why Maxwell was still walking around and free. And the agent responded that they were going to find her. And I'm very glad that Virginia that she asked that question. I'm very glad. And another question is,
Get this last question.
do you want Miss Maxwell to testify? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
All right, you guys. That's why the victim testimony is pretty hard to deal with, because it's like up and down. You don't know where it's going. So yes, I try to get as much information out as possible. Now we got to keep on rocking and shocking right now. We got to go on over here to the family that spoke out about the pardon, if it's possible for her to get a pardon. I don't think that Ghislaine Maxwell should get a pardon. And Virginia Giuffre's family is saying the same thing.
The Jeffrey Epstein case, 24 hours after President Trump made that claim that Jeffrey Epstein, quote, stole young women who worked at his Mar-a-Lago resort from Trump's spa. Virginia Giuffre's family responding. Giuffre had said she worked at Mar-a-Lago in the spa, and her family now telling the president not to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Here's Rachel Scott.
24 hours after President Trump's remarkable new claim that Jeffrey Epstein stole young women who worked at his Mar-a-Lago resort, an anguished response from the family of one of those women, Virginia Giuffre. Giuffre claimed she was approached at Mar-a-Lago in 2000 by Epstein's companion, Ghislaine Maxwell, who then sex trafficked her to Epstein.
Everybody telling her.
I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago and entrapped in a world that I didn't understand.
This week, Trump said Giuffre was one of several employees Epstein stole from him.
I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
Giuffre's family calling it shocking to hear Trump say that he was aware that Virginia had been stolen from Mar-a-Lago. It makes us ask if he was aware of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal actions. They also pointed to what Trump told New York Magazine in 2002. 2 years after Giuffre was allegedly trafficked to Epstein. Trump praising Epstein, telling the magazine, "It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." Today, I asked the president.
You said that Jeffrey Epstein stole people from Mar-a-Lago. At the time, did you know why he was taking those young women, including Virginia, who was just 16 at the time?
I would figure it was ABC fake news that would ask that question, one of the worst. But no, I don't know really why. But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing. I didn't like it, and we threw him out.
Giuffre died by suicide earlier this year, and Maxwell has always denied her accusations, calling her, quote, a fabulist. Maxwell is now serving 20 years behind bars for sex trafficking. Last week, she spent 9 hours meeting with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who was President Trump's personal lawyer. The president has not ruled out pardoning her.
Well, I'm allowed to give her a pardon, but nobody's approached me with it.
But tonight, the family of Virginia Giuffre calling Maxwell a monster and a predator who destroyed the lives of girls and young women without conscience, saying she deserves to rot in prison for the rest of her life.
And David, it was just 1 week ago that Maxwell sat down with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. The administration still has not released any details on what was said.
As far as I'm concerned, what do you guys think? Give me a thumbs up if you think that she should stay in prison and do her full term. And give me a thumbs down if you think that they should let her out. Thumbs up if you want them to go up. Thumbs down if you don't. I want to play this right here real quick because we got to remember this.
You mentioned Ghislaine Maxwell. This is something else that was referenced in your statement as well. When it comes to the possibility of a pardon for her, what is your message to President Trump on that?
I can speak for that. I think the word that comes to mind is it would be an abomination. Our sister always told us that Maxwell was even worse than Epstein. We said it in the statement that she was a monster. But this is a woman who used her womanhood to prey on young girls, vulnerable young girls. And she wasn't a light participant. She's convicted of these crimes. And the thought of offering her leniency or a complete pardon, it makes us feel sick because we're letting someone out who could potentially repeat this. We know the track record. And it doesn't seem like there's any information that could be gained that's worth letting out a monster.
So then, Lynette and Danny, I'll address this to you. I will tell you that based on our reporting since your statement came out, a senior administration official tells our team, and I want to quote here, that no leniency is being given or discussed as it relates to Maxwell. Lynette, Danny, Sky, Amanda, and Danny and Lynette, I'll let you take this first. Does that give you any measure of comfort or relief to hear that?
Absolutely. Gives me great comfort, and it makes me think that, you know, I think that my sister would have been mortified if she were let out of prison. I feel that it is now our responsibility to make sure that we at least put her voice into our voice and scream that forward.
And Amanda, I can...
As you guys know, she already got leniency, and she's already been moved since that interview right there to Bryan, Texas. My fear, and I'm coming out of the pocket right now saying some stuff, I just feel like them. I feel exactly like the family. Like, we have to pay attention to the crimes that this person committed. Everybody basically coming together in a unified, basically saying that she's a bad person. This is not something that we need to be dealing with right now as far as like our country. Need to get those files out so everybody can finally come to some summation of what they're comfortable with so we can actually move on. Because pooling it is no joke. Pooling this information is not easy. Let's get into this real quick.
Sources say top administration officials are discussing whether to make public some of the transcript or recording of what Maxwell, a convicted co-conspirator of Epstein, told Blanche. On Tuesday, the president said he hasn't discussed the interview with Blanche, his former personal attorney.
So I didn't discuss it with him, but anything he talked about with her or the fact that he did that, not unusual, number one, and most importantly is something that would be totally above board.
Trump also said he knew nothing about Maxwell's recent transfer from a Florida federal prison to a minimum security facility in Texas.
I didn't know about it at all. No, I read about it just like you did. It's not a very uncommon thing.
On Capitol Hill, the House Oversight Committee continues its probe with subpoenas seeking depositions from former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. In 2019, his office said that while Clinton knew nothing about the terrible crimes Epstein committed, he took 4 trips on an Epstein plane in 2002 and 2003.
Why?
But Clinton hadn't spoke to Epstein in over a decade. Also called to testify, former attorneys general and FBI directors dating back to the Bush administration who oversaw federal investigations of Epstein.
We saw that already. We're going to keep on moving forward, you guys. We're going to keep on moving forward. Stack that deck real nice for y'all on this Friday. Do your boy a favor, double tap that screen and get those likes up. Give me all the money in your pocket because I know y'all got it. Go ahead, follow, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Come on, become a member. Go ahead and hit that bell right there. Turn on the notification so you can know when we're doing our bottom line, which is every day at 6 o'clock in the morning. No matter what day it is, we do this every single day. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up. It's Friday, y'all. Now, guess what? What if you had a cat like this? Let me ask you guys, what happens if all of a sudden a cat starts bringing you gifts? You got this cat that you adopted, you taking care of him. All of a sudden, it just starts bringing you gifts. This one cat right here, oh man, I would have loved this cat right here, because all of a sudden, this little friendly fur ball decides to go outside. When he comes back, he keeps on bringing back to his parents, guess what? None other than dirty $100 bills. If I was the owner, I would have followed him. And one day he did decide to follow him. Check this little story out here. I want you guys to check out. It's pretty cool. I like this story right here. Check this out. Our furry little friends and what they do for us. We don't even know that they always trying to look out for us. Check this out.
Kept bringing home wet dollar bills when he followed it and discovered where they came from. He called the police immediately. Richard Coleman's gray tabby Max returned home with a soggy $100 bill clenched in his teeth. The next morning, Max brought 2 more wet bills, then continued delivering cash daily for an entire week. Puzzled by the $800 his cat had mysteriously collected, Richard attached a GPS tracker to Max's collar. Following the signal on foot, he tracked Max through overgrown farmland trails to an isolated highway stretched miles away. Near a concrete drainage culvert beneath the road, Richard spotted Max pawing frantically at something deep inside the pipe. He crouched down and aimed his phone's flashlight into the darkness. The moment Richard saw what was hidden inside that drainage tunnel, he immediately backed away and called the police. When police arrived and searched the drainage pipe, they pulled out a black plastic bag containing $40,000 in bundled cash. Lab tests revealed the bills were coated with chemicals traffickers use to hide money from K-9 units. Criminals had dumped the cash during a highway checkpoint days earlier. The masking scent meant to repel drug dogs ironically attracted Max, who retrieved bills daily. Authorities linked the money to a major trafficking ring and arrested 2 suspects. Homeowner.
Now let me ask you guys, I want to come to these comments because I know what y'all are saying. I want to know what you guys are saying. How many people would have called the police about this situation? Put your hands up. If you would have called the police about this situation, would you have called the police about this situation? Everyone who would have reported the cat and reported the money, I want you to put your hands up, you honest Americans. Come on, you honest Americans. If you wouldn't have called the police and have reported the money, put a thumbs down. Thumbs up if you would have reported the cash. Thumbs down if you would not have reported the cash. Let me see who we got over here. Crazy Lady says she would have reported the cash. Rebecca would have reported the cash. We've also got Christina that says she would have reported the cash. Natalie, okay, you're such a good citizen. Look at that, Georgievich. And we got Paul with the thumbs down. We got Magnum CMJ with the double thumbs down. We got somebody over here, Christopher don't even want to say. We got a few thumbs down, I gotta say, you guys. The thumbs down is kind of like getting the yes, yes, yeah. We got a lot of thumbs down over here. Uh-oh. We got a couple of thumbs up. Look at this one laughing over here. What we got over here? Money Tree. Money Tree says, FK, no. You mean to tell me you wouldn't have reported that Money Tree missing? Come on now. Thumbs down. You got a lot of thumbs down over here. Now tell me, this is what some people would have said. They said, you know what? I would have let the cat come home and he would have had the best feline feast that he could ever fathom. That would have been the best feast that that furball would have ever had. Man, listen, I'd have followed that cat. Oh, that's when you put the flashlight inside there. This is what somebody would have did, not me. They would have put the flashlight inside there and said, oh, I see what's going on in there. And they wouldn't have went over there right then and there. They would have came around, probably got their car pulled up. This is somebody. I don't know who this person is. They would have pulled up next to it, looked around, popped the trunk, grabbed the bag, threw the bag in there, and Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Ain't even thinking about their furniture. They left all their clothes at the crib. Man, listen, they'd have been out of there with that. What was that, $40,000? A lot of people said that they would have took that money. But you know what? Y'all don't got to do that. It's not $40,000. But you know what you can do? Hit that link in the description and you can make some money, 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 money. All y'all got to do is hit that link in the description and you can make up to $850. Also, if you have not already become a member of the show, double tap that screen to make sure y'all do that. Make sure y'all go ahead and share and like to let everybody know what we got going on over here. The #1 show on YouTube all the time, every day at 6 o'clock, between 7 o'clock, because we have the best co-hosts. That's right, guys. We have the best co-hosts here who always stay on topic and stay on point. And also, let me ask you a question. You have a business. Are you a mobile barber? Maybe a detailer? Maybe you do landscaping. I don't know what you do, but whatever you do, I want you to send your promotion over to us at Our Bottom Line. That email address is bridgethisllc@gmail.com. I said bridgethisllc@gmail.com. Make sure you send it over to us in a 1080 by 1080 so we can put it up in the post notification area and you can get your promotion set, you guys. That's right. Also, y'all know it's coming back. Y'all saw me with DJ Don Data. That he did Don Data. Now see the super cat, man, you are Don Data. Y'all saw me with DJ Don Data last Saturday, right? And we were at the Throgs Neck Superstore. That's right, you guys. Next time you guys see us, we're gonna be in Brooklyn in the house. Brooklyn's in the house, and you are going to get a chance to make up to $250 if you guys win the Show Your Talent Search in Brooklyn. After we do that, we're going to be doing another one in Queens. We'll do another one in Manhattan, and then we're going to do our final talent show, and we're going to bring everybody together with one person. That's right, you guys can make $1,000. I'm going to be the one that's hosting it, and You guys see that right there? That's Big Drip. That's the sponsor right there. Big Drip Hard Punch. That's the sponsors right there. If you guys want to sign up to be a part of the talent search, all you got to do is go over to the website, www.drinkbigdrip.com. Go down to the first page, join the mailing list, and you will be a part of it. As long as you're in the 5 boroughs, you got a chance of being inside of that talent search, you guys. And with that being said, I want you guys to repeat after me and do exactly what I do on the count of 3, not in the comments. I want you guys to look at the camera and do it, not in the comments. Look at the camera and do this. On the count of 3, follow my lead. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. See how good you feel? You see how good that makes you feel? You feel that love up in your stomach. I want you guys to take that love with you. I want you to keep that energy going. Drink some water today. Stay healthy. It's Friday. So if you took the day off or if you got the weekend off, enjoy it. Don't live for the weekend, because I want you to be around on Monday and a whole bunch of Mondays after that. And with that being said, you guys, problems present opportunities. Stop worrying about problems and focus on the opportunity. Like us, we're trying to get some more money going over here. We'd like to get some more support. Plus, we don't really get too much traction on the live videos. So now you know what that means. We got to go into the field and create some content. That's going to be fun. Look forward to doing it, you guys. Again, problems present opportunities. Instead of looking at the problem, we focus on the opportunity. And even myself, I have to be a messenger and practice what I preach. So we're going to keep on moving forward. You guys, if y'all have I want y'all to have a fantastic Friday. Tomorrow, Saturday, and we going to be here to do it all over again. It's your boy BOOGOTTINYC, and like I always tell you, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, Scott, Casey, Rebecca Lanyen Bueno, Juan, Batty Lynn, Juan, who else we got up in here? Rebecca Lanyen Bueno from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We can't play with that one. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Y'all know what it is. Get 'em! Peace. 1.